Watching my dad play pinball, I'd see a side of him I wouldn't see anywhere else. You know, just dialed into the machine like he was in a different world, and the lights flashing on his face. It was pretty incredible.
The storm is coming, and we're letting our hair down to experience the power of Williams' Whirlwind, designed by Pat Lawler. In this episode, we turn back the clock and discover what made the silver age of pinball a benchmark for nostalgia. Our guest is new to the hobby, finding their way and eager to learn. Let's get flippin'.
Oh, looks like rain.
What started your pinball obsession? Like, did you play a lot when you were younger, or was it more of a recent thing?
I played a lot when I was younger with my old man. You know, I didn't get along too well with him, but we had this one thing that kept us together, pinball. And I guess I was born right at the end of the golden era of pinball, 1983. And there was a bit of a shift in arcades, I think, at that time with 3D games. And I didn't appreciate what pinball was when I was that age. I could see my dad really appreciating it, but I didn't get it so much. Not until recently, I've been playing a lot of pinball and really zoning in the machines and understanding what they do, what they're capable of, and it's awesome. It's really cool, and I'm excited to see what else there is. I'm just scratching the surface, you know, and it's a whole world out there for me to explore right now.
So as a newer, well, you're not a newer player, but as a newer player to modern pinball, what is it that got you back into it?
The nostalgia, really. It was awesome walking into an arcade to see a brand new pinball machine just off the press that is about my childhood cartoon that I love so much. You know, the Ninja Turtles, for example.
Right.
Stern's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pinball machine just blew my head. It was awesome. The colors were so nostalgic. I loved it. Yeah. So you got to tell me here, give me a tip about nudging. I've watched videos of you play, obviously. You're really good, and I see you nudging all these different ways, you know? Like, I understand you could control the direction of the ball nudging, but I see you hitting it in a way where you're passing the ball from one paddle to the other, one flipper to the other, or you're nudging it in a way to hit a target. And it's super impressive.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And I don't know how you do that.
It's a lot of anticipation. So if it's bouncing in a way that you've seen it drain that way before, it's probably going to drain again. So your brain has to kind of anticipate that it needs to do something, even though it might not look like it's supposed to. So you kind of are preempting the ball into another direction. So for example, if I've got the ball bouncing on top of the sling, straight up and down, boom, 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 I want it to fall to the flipper side. It's safer. If it falls towards the in-lane side, it could dance right out to the out-lane. So I'm going to nudge the machine very slightly to bounce it boop, 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 towards the flipper, and then it'll roll down the sling. Little things like that you have to keep in mind.
Very subtle.
If the ball's bouncing and it's not in your hand, then you're gonna kind of have to do whatever it takes to keep it alive.
Standing like this isn't ideal for nudging, right?
It's really funny. That is almost identical to my normal just chilling stance. I very often cross my feet.
Me too.
And then we'll jump into stance when I need to. Yeah. I'm definitely an animated player. I move around quite a bit.
And that's what's great. It's very entertaining to watch that
thanks.
too. I could see those emotions and the dedication behind the gameplay.
Yeah, when I'm playing, it's 100% my focus. It kind of has to be. Oh, nice save.
Thank you.
You got great instincts. Like it's a lot of stuff you can't teach or you try to teach and doesn't understand. Like a little tip save like you did there.
I really like the loops on these machines. It's quite exciting once you get in the swing of the loops. See how many you can get in a row.
Would you say that loops are probably your favorite pinball shot, or do you have a favorite?
I would say it's my favorite feature on a machine. The newer Star Trek from Stern has a loop, and every time you go around the loop, you go up a warp. Warp 1, warp 2.
Yep.
Gets my heart pumping.
You ever get to warp 9?
Not yet.
Oh. you get an add a ball at a warp 9. It's pretty cool. It gives you a little multi-ball.
7. 7's my top.
Oh, 7's pretty good though. That's extra ball. You're gonna get an extra ball there.
Not bad for a noob.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
So other than nudging, is there any kind of moves that you're maybe stuck on or you see and you're like, wow, how do I do that? Or I wish I could try and do that, because you can.
I've seen some people do a certain move, and I don't know what it's called, but they have 2 balls collected on one flipper, and they're able to separate them very easily.
So that's called a cradle separation. That's named after that position there. It's called a cradle. And what you're doing is separating the balls. And that is actually interesting because remember I was saying how the flipper power can change depending on how you do it?
Yes.
It's this tiny little flick, tiny little bit of power. And what it does is it just kicks the ball up, and then physics does the rest. It's just kind of lined up in a perfect way. So yeah, if you get into multi-ball in that situation, definitely give it a shot. Don't be afraid of losing a ball. That's what I like to tell people. Like you're gonna learn something. Even if you mess it up, you've learned something.
The National Weather Service has issued tornado watch number 413, effective until midnight Eastern Daylight Time Tuesday. This watch includes the following: Lake Michigan from St. Joseph to South Haven, Michigan, 5 nautical miles offshore to mid-lake. Remember, a tornado watch means that conditions are favorable for the development of severe...
So I find you could do a lot of these tricks with digital pinball machines as well.
I like that they've incorporated that into the physics. A lot less to lose in a digital game. I think you get a little less nervous.
There's no nerves when I play digital.
Yeah, like what gets you amped up about the real thing?
The real thing is official. It takes real skill to play the real thing. It's the thing. The digital is just trying to be like the real thing, you know.
I love it.
There's no hiding it.
It's official. It's official. I love that.
I mean, I have a lot of respect for game developers and the amount of work it takes to make all of that fit together, but again, it's a video game.
Okay, so you've got a digital pinball set up at home.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah, it's pretty makeshift right now at this point. You know, I'm looking to improve it, but for now I have a ridiculously large screen, 55-inch 4K screen that I flip down on its side. And it's meant to work with 3 monitors, but I have 2 monitors squished into one.
Oh.
For the dot matrix and the back glass display.
So you have it all on one monitor?
I have it all on 2 monitors.
monitors.
So the play field is on the 4K large screen, and I have a smaller 1080p screen standing up for the scoreboard and the back glass. And it's really good for accessibility with pinball, having the digital around, especially the newer ones right now. Mm-hmm. You buy a program, you know, 10, 15 bucks, and then you have access to dozens of machines. But there are some setbacks.
So yeah, what do you find is different between the two?
The whole feel altogether. The physics are not quite right. They're very predictable on a digital table. You know, there's not all the little nuances in a real machine that a digital table will have, or will not have, sorry.
But as a learning tool, would you say that playing on digital machines helps you a ton?
Oh yeah. It teaches me about the machines, what to do on a machine, how to get, you know, all the bonuses, jackpots, or the missions. And there's a massive community for digital pinball. Probably not quite as big as the real pinball community, but you know, it's getting there.
Good. Well, hopefully there's some transition, like we can have a bit of both. I would love to have digital players come, and I'd love to learn about how to make my own digital machine.
This pinball machine's got the fuzz.
Inlane switches can be valuable on some machines, so why not try shooting them directly? Pioneered by tournament legend Neil Schatz, the alley pass takes nerves of steel as you wait, and wait, and wait before rocketing the ball away. Be mindful of the drain, and when you make it across, keep an eye on those hungry outlanes. A high-risk maneuver with high reward potential? Sign me up, Neil. So what is the deciding factor for you in a new machine, other than turtles? Obviously that's an easy one with Fiend, but if there's a machine X in the corner, what makes you want to go play it?
The lights and the sound, they really trigger something in me. I look at a machine like it's a movie set or a diorama and its own little world inside, and if everything is put together and makes sense, it really draws me in and makes me want to explore it.
That's fantastic.
You've heard the term mise en scene or mise en place. I swear the manufacturers here, that is their mantra.
There is so much care put into every piece of plastic in these machines that people I don't think understand. Every post is in a certain place for a reason, and it wouldn't play the same if it wasn't. There you go, yeah, a little slap, see?
I missed it.
You're feeling it, you're feeling it.
I'm starting to understand now.
Incoming. Return to your home. The storm is coming. Danger. Take cover now.
What's the first machine you ever played?
That would be Cyclone.
Tell me about Cyclone.
That was my first machine that I saw when I was about 6 years old. My family and I were doing a road trip through the States, and we stopped at a Super 8 motel that had Cyclone. And someone who was working there had it opened up.
Oh.
And all the parts were showing to it. And you know me, 6-year-old. Is that a transformer?
Yeah. That's
It
so
looks
cool.
so awesome. And then he closes it, turns it on, invites my dad and I over to play some free games. And I was just amazed. My dad held me up. I was too short to see the play field, but I could reach the buttons. He held me up and I was playing, and I was mesmerized by the lights. It was really cool. I was scared. I looked at it, and it looked like the guts of a transformer. All the things moving. Hey, you with the face. It was talking to me.
Yep. Directly to you. It
Yeah.
felt like it was talking to you. It's very immersive. Yeah. Like,
And for a 6-year-old, that stuck with me for my whole life.
did you find yourself getting competitive when you played with your dad when you were younger?
Oh yeah, very competitive with my dad.
Yeah?
Yeah. He teased me a lot and egged me on to make sure that I would always try to beat his scores. And he owned the scoreboards. Every single one of them. He liked to mock me about it, to bring it up. Watching my dad play pinball, I'd see a side of him I wouldn't see anywhere else. You know, just dialed into the machine like he was in a different world, and the lights flashing on his face. It was pretty incredible. Yeah, and you know, this might be a little bit of a downer topic, but my old man he passed on not too long ago, and when he was feeling really ill, digital pinball really helped out, you know, the suffering he went through. And it was something that I was able to provide for him in every space that he was in, you know, during those times.
That's really awesome. Yeah, like being able to use that as a bond.
Yeah,
It's a way to bond and reconnect or connect.
yeah, and it was like reconnecting with him, re-experiencing my childhood again, so to speak, you know, in his final years, and it was really nice. And now I'm understanding more how he felt about pinball, and seeing that, remembering the intensity in his face, and catching myself acting that way too. You know, there's a lot I have in common physically with my dad.
So you're getting that look, that fire in your
I get
eyes
that
he
fire,
had.
yeah.
Oh boy.
And that came from him.
I'm sure he'd be very proud to know that. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's very proud to know that.
And I think he trained me to be that way.